Well, Christina, thank you for calling us to buy your house. Before we can determine how much we can buy your house for, there are just a few more questions that I need to ask about your specific plans to sell it. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. Again, my name is Alex, and my job is to collect all of the information needed so that my purchase manager can construct the very best offer for you if your house qualifies. As we go through the process, you'll notice that I will be writing down the information that we need to have in order to present you with an offer as quickly as 24 to 48 hours. Excellent. And are you calling because you have a house that you are hoping to sell?
Well, it's something I'm looking at, yeah.
Okay. So we buy houses, and we are currently looking to buy 5 to 10 more in the next 30 to 60 days. If you've been remotely considering the idea of selling, we would like to have the opportunity to present you with the free, no risk or obligation offer. So,
Okay.
did you have an interest in selling your house?
I would like to, yes.
Yes, perfect. We're definitely looking for another house to buy right now. Is the property currently listed with the real estate broker?
No.
No, it's not listed. That's great. And what is the address of the house that you were hoping to sell? Thank you for helping me with the spelling. You know, Christina, no one knows more about your house than you do. We buy houses all over the country, so we're actually going to buy your house without ever going out to physically see the house. Once we agree to buy the house and you agree to sell us the house, we will send our local professionals out to determine the exact condition and repair costs the house may need. In the meantime, we would hope that you would be fair and honest regarding the condition of the house so that we don't move forward with an agreement to purchase your house that we'll later have to change or cancel because of missing information. Does that make sense, yes?
Yes.
That's great. So let me ask you, what amount should we assume we will have to pay in total repair costs and work or upgrades that a lender may require or that a future buyer will ask to be fixed?
You know, I'm not living in the house, like, I haven't been in the house for a while, so I would actually have to go and look at the home to tell you.
Okay, that's okay.
So I'm not 100% sure what is, what it looks like. I moved out back,
How you doing, guys? Happy Friday again. Hey, Alec, I think you might have a call with Justin at 1 p.m. I do 12 o'clock live sales. So, okay. So what you guys just heard right now was a live seller call. Let me see if I can put it again. So let's hear it real quick.
It's been over a year and a few months when I moved out.
So basically, the introduction is basically asking the client why they're interested in selling. Again, how long have they lived there? Reason for selling. How long do they need to sell it at? What's as far as the time frame? Just break down questions where the seller can answer honestly, so you can get more information and just build some rapport.
I really haven't been in the home, so I would have to call you back and be able to give you any details.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go through this, and then when Ryan calls you back, if that's enough time, she'll get that information from you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So what do you think the house is worth? Or in other words, if we sent out a real estate appraiser over tomorrow and had the property appraised, what do you think the house would be worth in today's market?
So this is where you ask the client, you kind of put the client at the spot, like if I was sending a real estate appraiser, so she needs to validate if we do hire a real estate appraiser, she can BS herself around the value of the property.
Okay.
And it's showing it at $125,000.
You would say about $125,000?
Yeah.
Okay, she threw a number out.
Is there a mortgage on the house that we will need to pay off?
Yes.
Yes. And what is the loan balance?
69,000, I believe.
69,000?
Yes.
Okay, and what are the monthly payments?
It's 558, I believe.
558. Okay, and are the payments current on the loan?
Right now, it's currently past due.
So asking about the property, the mortgage,
Okay, and have
she
you
says
received
it's
a
past
notice
due.
of default or a notice of trustee sale?
You just want to know more information about the property.
No.
No. Okay. All right. What were you hoping to sell your house for? The net amount that you would receive to put in your pocket. After all of the repair and update costs have been considered, after all of your seller's closing costs have been subtracted, and after we pay the loans off, what we call the walk-away money. Go ahead and share with me, what amount of money were you hoping to walk away with?
I would say between 5,000 and 10,000.
5 to 10,000? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and how did you come up with that amount as your walk-away money?
I'm sorry?
How did you come up with that amount as your walk-away money?
That's just kind of where I'm at as far as...
So basically here asking, okay, based on everything, again, I know you probably still owe money and everything. What do you want to walk with?
That I would like to...
That's kind of the best way to ask the seller. Don't worry about the mortgage. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the taxes. How much do you want to walk away with?
Pay off.
All right, and is 5,000 the least that you will take?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I do have all of the information that we need for now. At this time, we need to look over the information you gave me, do some research on the property, and if we have any more questions, we'll call you back. Also, I would like to set up an appointment to have my purchase manager contact you back and make you an offer to buy your house. Which time and day would be better for you?
You see here, when she mentioned, always mention like, what's it called? Pass on the responsibility to somebody else. You're not the buyer, you're just the person taking on what's it called, the information. When people call me on the bandit science as well, they ask me, oh, are you the buyer? No, actually, I wish I was the owner. I'm just somebody that basically collects the information, asks you a few questions, and then I'll pass it over to our manager or to our acquisitions manager or to our boss. I always say boss because, again, it makes me look better when I have a boss because it humanizes me.
For my purchase manager to contact you. We do have time available today around 2:30.
I actually will be working between anything after 5:30.
Okay, what about tomorrow morning, like around 9:30 or 11?
Tomorrow, 11 would be fine.
Okay. Would you like 9:30 or 11?
11.
11? All right. So I'll set you up for tomorrow at 11. And one more thing. When our purchase manager calls you, if you can agree on the terms and you can agree on the price that works for both of you, are you ready to get the paperwork done and sell your house?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect.
Yes.
And one last question. When our purchase
Okay. So like you heard on that call initially, just make sure that I have it there so you guys can see it. Okay, so basically the call breakdown is just basically the first conversation. You start asking questions. Okay, perfect. You know, you already spoke to I always tell people, call yourself a partner, call yourself my boss, as far as my boss told me to call you, etc. So when you ask questions, the questions are much easier and more simpler because again, you're not the one buying the property, you're just the one asking the questions like a regular person just having a job. Let's see. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'll continue with the breakdown of those calls. Let me just again, I want to start as far as the week, as far as how the week went, as far as how many leads I got this week. Again, we had 80 leads. Well, not leads, 80 records that we need to skip trace and everything and target from them. They're all niche leads, or they come from either from pre-probate, affidavit of airships. All this is counting, all this free leads. The only thing that we pay for is basically the skip tracing. So we skip trace them, we add them to our reply. Again, I still don't have my cold caller. He's been missing since almost a month and a half. I did close on that deal that he did get, the land deal. It's going to be a double close, which I will mention it later in this call. So basically, we got 80 calls, 80 leads, 80 records, 80 records skipped. They were added to our reply. They were blasted. So again, you can blast up to 200 within a day, within hours. So we blasted the 80 leads. We got the 80 records. We got 2 leads where we're good, which we're going to be working on. And this 2 came from 1 lien violation and 1 tax transfer. So the lien violations, it's a court enforcement. Again, the way that I told my VA, or I handle a transaction, it's like when it's a code violation and they text you back and they ask you how'd you get my number. Well, my boss told me to call you. I think he bought a house on the road. Some lady had an issue with the city and the tax and the what's it called, and how dirty her house was. She was just too tired and older that she didn't want to handle the cleaning of the house, so she was able to just sell it to us. You bring in their pain point because you know for a fact that they got a loan lien notification letter, so that works on our behalf. That was one. The other one was the tax transfer, simple tax transfer. There's 2 ways of tax transfers. There's where initially the owner hired a tax company to pay the current or the previous year's taxes. So let's say we're in 2022, so they would have paid 2021. They couldn't pay it on their behalf, so they hired the third party to pay for them. Usually they don't hire it for 1 year. They usually hire for like 2 years, 2-3 years past due taxes. They get this person on the line, and this person pays for all the taxes up to 2022, right? So what happens then when those persons pay for that taxes, they actually send the money to the county. It's going to be either the city and the county itself, or the city and the county and irrigation, whatever the city requires. Once that happens, in order for them to protect the position, what they do is they record an instrument. The instrument is basically saying that sorry, that was my dog. Not a dog, that a human. So then once they record that instrument saying that they're being protected, their position is being protected because they paid that. It shows you exactly. Let me see if I can bring one up, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Bear with me. Let's see, let me know when you guys can see it. So as you can see here, certified statement of tax of transfer of tax date. So this is basically it's public information where the company, see, it has a parcel number, which is the number of the property, and what's called the legal description, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The address. So it's why it's so easy for my VA to just to pull the data: address, city, name, the amount. See right here, amount paid to transfer $3,333. $332.78. That's how much the company paid. What's called that's how much the company paid the city or the county for the 2019 and 2020 taxes. The property owner, so you get the name, and this is FGMS Holdings. It's a company that pays taxes here locally where I'm from. And it's basic information. So it's so simple. So all you gotta do is just, I usually get like 30 or 40 of these. I've given to my VA. My VA gets this information. She gets this amount, name. This other one's it's automatically populated. We skip to the name, we skip to the address, and then we call them and text them. So that's what's called a tax transfer looks like. So that when you reach out to them, you know for a fact that it's a company that paid the taxes that did that. Now there's two ways you can interact. One of the new ways that I'm trying to not only with this, but with loan modifications and etc., is quality control. So when we call a client, we literally have the document in front of us, right? The client used this third-party company to pay for the taxes. So when we call them back, hey, is this Graciela? Hey, Graciela, yes, my name is Arthur. I'm calling you from a quality control for tax companies here in Texas. We did notice that this tax company paid for your taxes 2019, 2018, correct? Okay. How was the experience, etc.? Okay, perfect. Okay, and then you bring it. Okay, perfect. So what was the main reason why you had an issue with your taxes? So you see, you gather the information. You're like, whoa, okay, you lost your job. Now, is this something that might happen in the future? You're like, well, I don't know. I think we're good with this 2019 and 2020. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for allowing us to answer a call. Again, once you're in the conversation, if for any reason she says it might happen again, you can tell, you know what, as a quality control, we do know that this can become a trap where people can get so many loans from their taxes that they can come to a point where they cannot make the tax payment from the tax company nor the tax payment for directly to the county for the new year, that happens where they default and they might lose their property. Have you ever thought about that? It's like, no, actually, we haven't thought about that. But again, it could happen, man. But just let us know it's happened to other clients where they actually lose their property at auction because of such thing like this. And then you try to fish for information. Later on the road, again, if the lady is interested in selling it, you can tell them, well, ma'am, there are companies that do actually buy properties like this. If you ever have any bind with you not being able to pay your taxes from your current tax loan that you have with this company, nor the tax from the city, there are companies that can buy your properties as is, and we are partners with such company. If anything, if that ever happens, or you just want to get a free quote as far as how much you can pay for your house cash, pay the tax loan, and put some money in your pocket, let me know, and I'll patch you to one of our partners so they can help you out with this information. Simple as that. If they say yes, perfect. If they say no, perfect. If they say yes, okay, Miss Graciela, I'll go ahead and have it's going to be either Alex or Robert that will be calling you back probably here in the next 24 hours, and we'll go from there. Because remember, you enter with the quality control, making sure that she didn't have any issues with how the process was. It's simple. The way they pay taxes was simple. Literally, they just sign a contract, and then this is how much you're going to be borrowing. This is going to be your payment. This is going to be your deadline to pay. And then they'll handle everything with the tax with the county. But when you call them, quality control. Do you have any questions? How was the experience? And then well, just to let you know, ma'am, there's been multiple cases where clients have gotten so behind that they get so many loans with this from this tax company that it comes to a point that they cannot make that monthly payment, because we know those interest rates for those tax companies is really high. And it might happen that they might even try to foreclose on your property for non-payment, and now you have a payment that you owe to the county and a payment that you owe to this tax loan company, and you still can't handle it. There are companies, we are affiliated with a third-party company that buy properties as is, pay taxes, avoids the client's foreclosure, and puts some money in the pocket. And the same way that the easy way that they were able to pay for your taxes, that's what we do it. That's why they do it. They basically make it at ease. You just come to an agreement in price, and they'll handle everything. And then all you got to do is just go and sit at the closing table and sign and get your check. So you see, that's how you're first. They're gonna be open up. They're gonna be open to talking to you because you're quality control for the tax. Quality control not for the tax company itself, but like an advocacy program just to protect the client. And then you bring that information as far as, you know what, make sure you don't go into this trap. There are third parties. We are affiliated with one that actually buy properties as is. So again, if she ever had any I always know that anybody that has any any hint or any reason for selling, and if you mention those words, they're gonna raise your hand. Again, it's simple as that. So again, those are the 2 leads. I just gotta follow up with them. Again, just following up with them and see what happens. But you see, now it's more of it's a way warm lead, because again, they already spoke to you. You already built a rapport with the client. But I'm like, so yeah, that's basically the leads that we got for this week. The actual leads that we got to follow up with. We got 80. So again, 80 leads. I pay my VA $3 an hour. It's probably took like 2 hours to get them all done. And then it took she's doing the skip tracing as well. We have a program, so another hour to skip trace them. Let's say 4 hours, that's $12. And then 80 leads, that's 0.7 cents, probably gonna be like what, like 80 cents to text them. And we got 2 leads, which is good. So you see how it became from a free lead. You can do it yourself. Again, you don't have to hire a VA. So 80 leads, you skip trace them yourself. You put them in the system yourself. You skip trace them through a third party. You pay for that, 7 cents. I have a system called Spokio that I can get unlimited skip traces. I pay $40 every quarter, $38 every quarter. So it's pretty cheap. You put them in the area reply, text them. Again, I've been doing some cold calls myself because my VA is still with AWOL. He hasn't answered me. But I only do 2 ones that are like the niche ones, because there's 80 leads here. It's easy to go through 80 leads. And I can probably, what I was targeting was 300 calls a day. 300 calls a day. That's pretty good. So that's full time though. If I can do 3 hours of this, you're looking about 50 calls an hour, 50 calls an hour. So I can get through them within an hour and a half. I'm already done through them. And again, I do switch numbers because I was checking. Some numbers come back as scam or scam likely. So you gotta make sure the number that you dial out from does not come out on the receiver end as far as scam likely. So yeah, I did get one bandit sign lead on a Saturday. Seller called me. The conversation went again. Yeah, we want to sell a house. And I was asking my friend, okay, perfect. Did you go on a number, etc. And how much do you want? With the tone of voice of the client, you know more or less how good they're gonna react to that question. So like, okay, 135. Okay, perfect. I already saw it. I can probably sell this house for like 55 or 60. I went to go see it. Now there was a mistake that I did. Again, I kind of when I looked at the county records, it had another lady's name, which was the guy's sister. But I went to go see it anyways. Again, you gotta go there when they actually call you, because that's when it's hot. I met the seller's brother. I went to the property. It's a rental. It's a 1,000 square foot rental. Renting real cheap. He's renting it for like $300. So the property looks good. I took some pictures. Let's see, I'll show them to you later. The pictures. So yeah, we got the seller on the line. The sister, she's not here in the valley. She's coming down, I think, on Saturday, this Saturday, she should be down. I called him yesterday. So she should be down this week. On Saturday, lock it up. If I lock it up for 35, I already have a buyer at 55. Let's see. Sure. So yeah, I have a buyer at 55. So that's another, again, through bandit signs. Again, bandit signs here in my area, they do work. There's a lot of competition. You just gotta be consistently putting them out there. I do drive my areas. Again, I play soccer at night, so I know which areas are getting pulled down. So, and sometimes I just wait a couple of days for them to pull them down, and then I go put them back. Again, I don't want to be an asshole and put it in the day after, and then they'll get really upset at my number, and they'll literally target my bandit signs more than others. I did see some on bandit sites. I feel bad because my bandit sites were vandalized when they were trying to pull them down. They're like hanging sideways, so I feel bad. Again, that's weird. But yeah, I'll put them back again. Again, I already know like 7 spots where they took them off. I'll put them back up. Yeah, just be consistently. Again, this year, my target was to do 4,000 bandit signs instead of 1,000. Instead of 4,000 bandit signs instead of 1,200, because I try to put 100 a month. So I gotta do at least 300 to 400 a month. Consistently. But what I've noticed, again, there's a trick that I've been doing. They've been staying up longer. So maybe those, again, the reason why I was doing 4,000, my target was going to be 4,000 because they were getting pulled down much faster, because I was just putting them and they were getting pulled down. But this time, the little trick that I have, they're staying up a little bit longer. So we'll see how that works. I kind of map my areas when I do my bandit signs, and like I put it myself. Okay, it's part of the fun. Again, I don't want to be so far removed from the business that that I lose the fun of going out there. It's kind of an adrenaline rush. Make sure you don't get caught. Cops come by. Again, what I've noticed about cops and the bandit signs is that they just don't care. Again, if you don't care, if you don't make a big deal when you're, sometimes I have the bandit sign in my hand and I'm walking towards the pole, and then the cop passes by, and it's like I see the cop in the corner of my eye. I can't, if I'm going towards the pole and I see the cop on the corner of my eye, I can't stop and go back. That makes me more suspicious. I just keep on going, boom, boom, put it up and go back to my truck. And the cop just literally come by and type. I never once have gotten stopped because of a cop telling me about the bandit sign. I've gotten stopped because I'm parked somewhere waiting for the traffic to slow down, and then the cop comes by, but there's ways you can navigate that. But yeah, overall, it's like that. Again, it happens. It's good. So going back to that deal, that land deal, again, my VA, he did a call the first day doing calls. We got a deal locked up. It's a land deal. We were making 20K on that deal. It was supposed to be 33 because we offered 7, thinking that the taxes and the liens was gonna be around 5. It went from 7 to 23. I was assuming 12, but it went from 12 to 23,000. So we lost 10,000 there. I could have negotiated with the county because the reason why it doubled what I was expecting is because it had been so much longer since the lien was initially recorded. So they get paid 10% annually. So when they calculated it, it became $10,000 more than I was expecting. So again, it killed $10,000, and it happens. We're still making 20 on that one. Now on that one, double closing. For some reason, some title companies here in my area are kind of strange. Some don't do assignments. So basically, I had to close on them. There's ways you can get transactional funding, but this title company was telling me that I needed to close on it and wait at least 3 days for me to resell it. They couldn't do a double close right there and then, which like most title companies do. I don't know if it's a process issue for everybody or just a process issue for them. That's why I need to get a bigger title company. I know there's one Patriot Title, which I'll eventually reach out to them and see how fast they can do my deals. But on this one, I had to double close. I closed on it. What was it, on Wednesday? Now this client came from Lake Charles. He came to the Valley, but he didn't call me when he came down to the Valley. So when he came down to the Valley, he stays in across the border because that's where he has a house, and his signal doesn't work. So I was calling him and calling him and calling him. Eventually, I reached out to his son, and he's telling me, no, he's already there, but he's on the other side of the bridge, so his signal doesn't work. So I was ready for him last week to close. Not this week that just passed, this week, Wednesday, we won't close, the week before. But since he didn't call me, I had to get the paperwork again. And he needed to leave, go back to Lake Charles. And he was like, hey, well, you didn't call me. You should have called me, and I could have set it up for you to close on the way out, on the way down to the valley, instead of on the way back to Lake Charles. But eventually we closed again. So we had to close on that deal myself. And then I gotta wait. I'm gonna close on it next Wednesday with the other buyer that we had, and then that's where we make the 20K. I do lose 1,700 because of the the closing. The church crazy, the escrow fees and the title fees and everything is crazy. It was 1,700. I was so surprised. Like, man, this is a lot of you guys charging me a lot. And the good thing on the other side, the buyer's paying for the closing. So again, I'll be netting 20, like around 19.5. So that's that one. Again, it works. It was a lien violation. It was a cold call. He didn't answer the text because he answered the cold call. Enrique called it. Now Enrique's AWOL. He does get a bonus, but needs to come back to us so I can pay him his bonus and get back on the calls. And I have like the same way like that. Now I do leverage what's called other people that are kind of more. I do my own disposition sometimes, most of the times, right? But I know specifically, you know what? I already know when I get a property, I know which one's gonna be my buyer if I don't keep it myself. When I do that, probably, and I give it a couple of days. If I can put it in a couple of days, then I ask this third party that helps me, that has buyers herself as well, and she's close. We have 1, 2, 3 with her right now. This one, another lot that we're making. Let's see. We got it for 22, and I'm closing in. We sold it at 40. She's getting 3, so that's what. It's just some people are calling me. Let's see. So, and this, what happens? You just get blocked. And you get blocked. Let me see. So we got it for 22. I'm gonna have to play closing for that one because it's gonna be a double close again. But I'm gonna ask this title company if they can do a double close with the buyer's fund, and they can give me a credit for the middle one. So 22 minus 40, 18. I'll probably be netting around 12, 14 on this one because I gotta pay this lady that found me a buyer. But again, the reason why I get this later because I couldn't find a buyer. I sent it to the people that I know, and they wanted to buy it at 20. Like, no, that makes no sense. But I know this one can pay. She can get a higher price and get it actually closed. But I had to double close because usually those end buyers are not investors. Those end buyers are people that are going to live in there, or people that don't know to see an assignment on a contract. And again, the thing that we don't want is I'd rather just double close and pay fees on the front end. Is that we don't want the deal to die in the closing table because I didn't agree to that on an assignment. So people that are not investors, I don't do assignments. I just double close. Yeah, you do lose some fees, but again, it happens. But yeah, that's another deal, and that was like a year and some change in follow up from this lady that she wanted. She was evident that she wanted 20, and I wanted it to be a 15, 2015. Now, a year later, that 20 that she wants, we ended up being 22. It's like if it was 15 a year ago because I had the appreciation of the market in our area. So I get effort. I'll do it at 22. So we'll close hopefully. I think we'll probably close on that one probably next week. Hoping that one I do have to get. See, that's where you gotta know your paperwork. That one I had to get a warranty deed from the ex-husband to her. They were cool with it, but I have to do it because I don't want to pay the title company because I'm paying for the closing on this double close. I don't want to pay them $300 on a paper that I know how to create. So I'm gonna create a deed from the husband to her, and then she's gonna be able to sell it to me because they get divorced, but it's not recorded on the county. So I need to get not a quick claim; it has to be an actual deed, a warranty deed. a special warranty or a general warranty. So yes, that's one of them, and it's crazy. And the third deal that I'm telling you, I couldn't find a buyer to this property. That I was able to find a buyer for this guy. And this actually, the guy that actually came in for this property, I had already dealt with him like 3 or 4 years ago on a deal. But again, it was kind of crazy with how that deal happened. But we still closed on the deal that we get, and we basically, the way that we did it, I got partnered with the lady that owner finance deals, buyers, right? But the way that she collects her money is it's a percentage of the down payment, and it's usually half of the down payment. Whatever happened, we closed, and then I just didn't follow with him as a buyer because he was using us as a seller. He was trying to find an owner finance buyer through us. So we eventually found out that he is actually a buyer now, and I couldn't find a buyer for this property. Again, it was coming to the deadline. I had to find a buyer, and I couldn't find one. So then I spoke to her. I think it was on a Thursday. It was probably on a Wednesday because I had the call on Friday. So I got the call. I called her on a Wednesday. We met there on Thursday. We locked it up that Thursday, and we're gonna close. Again, no other investor wanted to buy it because they're kind of a bigger kind of type of investors. They're real, what's it called, a specific when they want to buy it. This guy is more I'm okay to not make 30, 40K. I'm okay to making 15. So we bought it at a price that makes sense. We're gonna close on that one. Yesterday, before that, I turned in the assignment for that one. That one is gonna be an assignment because he is an investor, so he knows. So yeah, it's crazy how that works. So those are the three deals that I'm doing through her. That's helped me as far as she has other type of marketing because she markets to owner finance buyers, but sometimes she gets owner finance buyers that have cash. And you'll be surprised how many people actually do have cash, 30, 40, 50K in their house, just because they want to keep it in their house. They don't trust banks. So yeah, that was the week. I do have another client. The other property that, again, the good thing about knowing that your market, the appreciation on your market, is that properties last year that you were offering, let's say for this one that I'm talking about, I was offering 13 last year, and the lady wanted 20. Now she wants 25, and now I'm at 20. Look, I'm on at 18. But I'm gonna market it anyways, just verbal to one of my what's it called, buyers of lots in that area. And I think that lot can probably sell for, like, I want to market it. It's a smaller lot. It's in a good upcoming area. It's a smaller lot. And I saw a guy that was building. Let me see if I can, so you can see that what I'm talking about. Bear with me. No, I wanted to look at it, but I just didn't look at it last time. That's how I tried. I'll open the pictures here that I did. I'm trying to show you. Hold the phone. So this guy, basically what he did, this area is getting gentrified little by little. Let's see. But the thing about this property, this location, that the lots are real thin. They're real thin. They're probably 50, I think less, probably like 40. Let's see. As far as wide, they're probably pretty long. They're probably like 100 long, but they're real thin. So I wish I could get the picture of it. I'm trying to see if I can find an LLC for this guy. Let's see. So basically what he did is he's building real thin buildings straight up. And he did two back to back because the lots are so small and they're so close to each other that you can't build anything wide. You literally have to make a two-story one to make it nice. And the reason I went last time to go see it, but there were some cops there. There was an issue with cops. There was like 6 cop cars. So I didn't want to stop. But that's what he's doing. He's making double-story, two-story houses on real thin lots. And they look really nice, the properties. But I wasn't able to go and actually take pictures of it because of what was going on with the cops. But that's gonna be my next thing, is offer him that lot. I have 2 lots in that area at 20. And I know I need to ask him whatever. I think he's selling those properties for like 100. If he buys it at 40, how long? If he buys it at 40, if it taking 40K to build a 2-story house, it's thin. It's like 1,000 square feet. It's real small. It's not like 3,000 square feet. It's like 1,000 square feet, but stacked on top of each other. They look real nice when you see them. So I was like, if I can get them, if I can talk to them, you know what? I might have 2 lots here in this area. Boom, I'm selling those 2. They're literally in the same vicinity. And again, that's if I can make 20K per lot, that's 40K for those 2 lots. Just because a year ago those lots were, I wouldn't buy them for 20. I would buy them for 15. Now I'm buying them for 20. And now I have this guy that's doing that. And I bet you if he knows how to do that, he's actually doing more like that. And I think he's keeping those as rentals, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and that's just driving around the area and knowing what areas are good to go. And that's another way. Remember, follow-up is key, because follow-ups from a year ago, the deal might not make sense at the seller's price, but now at the seller's price is a great deal. The same thing with this lady that I have a call with. She wants 120 for the property. I think it's probably worth 180, 190. As is, the pictures are super neat. Let me see if I can show it to you. She texted me yesterday. Sessions. Yesterday called her at 2. I'm going through my text. So I mean, the house looks pretty clean. Yeah, this is one of the pictures. This is one of the pictures of the house. Again, it looks pretty clean. And all the houses like that. So I know she wants 120. I can probably get it for 105. And this one's gonna be a hotel. I'm thinking of buying it through a loan, giving her a down payment and having me go through the process of getting a loan, and then hoteling it. Either gonna be a hard money loan or a private money loan, not a personal loan where you go FHA, etc. just a Harmony loan. If I can bring in 20%, 25%, and just close on it, and then just hotel it, or even try to do the what's called retail buyers program, where you know what, I can give you 105 right now, I can give you 107, but I gotta go through the process. I'll pay for the inspections, I'll pay for the repairs, I'll pay for this, et cetera, et cetera. But we close. It's a little more complex than that. I never done a deal like that. I've done hotel deals where I give the seller their walkaway money, and then I take deed, and now I'm the buyer of it. Now I'm the owner of it. But again, it's a little bit more complex to do the retail buyer where their walkaway money might be $80,000. That's too much to give on a down payment if I'm gonna buy it or I'm gonna list it. But yeah, those are again just follow-ups, and that came through our reply. And that lead itself, I'll show you what type of lead it is. That's a C buyer. I don't know if you guys know C buyers in the area. A C buyer lead is basically, there's a company that does mass, also they do the same thing. They do mass texting, they will do mass emails. I don't think they do calls, they do SEOs. So basically what they do is they market it to clients, and I bought those leads. I think I paid 15 bucks. I was paying $12 per lead. And the average lead, I got it for 2 months. And I was an average, the lead was costing me $12 per lead. And I was getting 38 to 40 lead. But the good thing about this, they gave you all the previous year's leads. They're not new to you. They're new to you, but they're not new to them. So again, those are the ones that are good too, because remember, clients, it's like an expired listing. Clients that didn't sell back then, if they want to sell now, you might be able to give them their price now, because the market appreciated so much. And as far as the market, is it gonna pop? It might, but with real estate, again, real estate and inflation and everything, again, if you're collateralized correctly, you'll be good. Again, if your debt cover ratio is good, then your monthly payment can be covered with a month of mortgage, with a month's payment as far as the rent, then you should be good. Remember, inflation kind of has a good relationship with real estate, because the inflation goes up, the rents go up, you get paid more. And if you're set at a fixed price, let's say your payment for this house is $500 set for 30 years, no matter how the inflation goes. If the inflation goes up, your rents go up, then you're still paying the $500. So again, you see how the correlations there. But yeah, so that was the week from the leads that we got, talking to the clients. Again, I talked about the 80 records that we got from the county, how we script traced them, we put them in our reply. We got 2 leads from it, a lien and a tax. They both look good. We got 1 bandit sign. You know how many bandit signs I put on a weekly basis. I'm trying to bump it up to around 200 a week, but the new strategy that I'm using, my bandit signs are staying. I have like boxes of bandit signs in my house, but I don't have to put them out that often, because they're not coming down that often. So a little trick that I used. But consistently, a bandit sign. The guy called me. He wanted 35K. I already have a buyer for 55. My mistake is not asking the client, is the owner there? I kind of knew, but I assumed that it was the owner and the wife. The guy that called me was the husband, and the wife but actually it's the sister, and the sister's not local. But again, I'll probably offer the 35K. I have a buyer of 55K for that one. Again, the double close. How I had a double close, but the reason why I double close is because this buyer that I'm selling, this seller that I'm selling it to, is not an investor. It's just a regular person, so they don't know about assignments. So you know what? Let me not mess with it. Let me buy the bullet. Let me close on this one, lose $1,700, but still close on it at a higher price. Remember, that deal I couldn't find a buyer either for it, so she was able to find me a buyer. I have 3 deals like that with her. 3 investor deals that the investors wanted to buy at a lower price. I gave them to her, and she was able to get them at a lower price. I pay her from $3,000 to $5,000 to give me a deal, to give me a buyer. So it's much better than a JV, because most JVs are 50-50. I do 60-40, but again, that one is on average $3,000 to $5,000 per buyer that she gets me. And then the hotel deal that I was telling you about, that the lady, she wants 120 now, 120 works. I'll probably get a 105, but I'll list it for 189 and probably capture the middle And then those 2 lots that I'm telling you that I was buying, that I was offering 15 last year, no, actually like a couple of years ago. And now they still want their 20, and now 20 makes sense. Now I just got to target that guy that built those high rises, 2-story buildings, and offering those 2 lots. So yeah, that was a week. That was a week from the lead generation to skip tracing them, to calling them and texting them, to doing the follow-ups, to know how to double close. Why I'm double closing, because I gotta make sure that the end buyer does not get scared of what's going on with this double close. You open it yourself to pay taxes, and you open it yourself to pay closing fees, but it happens. So yeah, that was the week. Again, if you guys like the content, again, it's all part of being able to be talking good over the phone, knowing your numbers for your market. And that's what the Friday is, market domination. Again, from bandit signs to SEOs to websites, to stickers, to what else? Door hangers, everything. Again, dominate your market. Some people might come in, but it's like Kobe Bryant said, I train in the morning at 4 p.m. I train in the mid-morning at 9 p.m. I train before lunch at 11. I train after lunch at 2. And then I train after 6 p.m. my last training. No matter how many, if somebody that person just comes and trains once a day, I've been training 4 times a day for the longest time, compounding my investment in training. They won't be able to catch up, because I've been doing it for so long. And that's why I'm telling you, you have to have so many tentacles in your market, so that even new people come into the market, it's gonna be an uphill battle for them to catch up to the marketing that I have, because I've been doing it. Not only the one thing only, I've been opening up new market channels and doing it consistently. If I see a market channel that's cheap, that I can do, and it takes not that much hard work, then let's do it. And then you build another one. By the time you know, you got like 6 or 7, 8 or 9, 10 wheels going the same way. All right, guys. Hope you guys had a great Friday, a great weekend. Again, Saturday and Sunday are where you get callbacks. You go look at properties. Remember, don't do the mistake that I did. Make sure you tell them, you ask them, okay, I see here that who's Mrs. Garcia? Oh, that's my sister. Okay, is she there? Oh, she's not there. Okay, then let's wait for her to come back so we can actually talk and make it work. And actually, I want to go buy a property. I don't want to just go see the property. Hey, Justin, you caught me in the back end. I'm a call.
Hey, dude. Okay. No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
No, I'm already wrapping it up. Don't worry. You been good?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Take your time, okay? No problem.
Brother. All right. So yeah, that's gonna be basically the consistency. Don't make the mistake that I did where I went there and I didn't tell him. I got assumed, but it happened. But yeah, just have a great weekend. Let's have a great Saturday and